Hi, this is the Best of Chess and I'm FIDE Master Bojan Jovanovic. In these videos I will try to explain you world of chess combination. First, what we need to know is that combination are so-called master play or forced lines. We have couple of tools which we use to force our opponent into combination. We achieve that with check, with exchange, with sacrifice, or with attack or threat. Combinations are consisted from tactical elements, for example, double attack, pinning, discover attack, and so on. We use them to mate our opponent, make a stalemate, win material, or achieve some positional goal. They appear when something in the position of one of the player is not alright from a strategical point of view. For example, it can be bad position of some piece, weak pawns, weak squares, bad position of the king, and so on. We can recognize them when we define pluses of our position and minuses of position of our opponent, and that we will discover by making estimation of the position. Estimation of the position is consisted from quantitative and qualitative analysis. In quantitative, we will just make a comparison of our material and opponent's material to discover if there is material advantage for any of sides. In qualitative analysis, we will make the most basic things. We will take a look on the position of kings, position of pieces, and finally on pawn structures. And there is no particular order which you have to follow. We will discover combinations by making the plan how to exploit pluses of our and minuses of opponent's position, and by calculating candidate moves. In these videos, I will introduce to you tactical elements, typical reasons why tactics appear, and some of typical combinations which we see the most often. First tactical element which we'll study is a double attack, and in this lesson I will try to explain to you the most basic things about double attack. Double attack is when you attack two pieces with one, and it can be any piece. Even the king also can make double attack, and reason why double attack mostly appear is bad configuration of pieces, or to say that in detail, pieces or pawns are on bad position or unprotected. We will start now with examples. This is our first example. This is one of the basic endgames, queen versus rook, and it is winning for white in any piece configuration, but here we won't discuss about method of winning this endgame in any configuration. That will be our subject in lessons about endgames. Here we will just consider combination. As I said before, now we will start with estimation of the position. First we will go to quantitative analysis. We can see that white has the queen and black has the rook, so material advantage is going into white favor. And we can conclude that in this particular position goal of combination will be realization of material advantage. Now we will go to qualitative analysis. We can notice that white has a very strong king on c6 and a very flexible and powerful queen on f1 because there is a very few pieces left on the board, and in these situations queen is very strong. And these are pluses of white's position. On the other hand, black has king on a8 on the edge of the board, and this is first minus of his position. And rook on h7 is unprotected, so this is second minus of his position. And we need to make a plan how to use these pluses and minuses in the position, and we can conclude that we need to give a check and attack the rook at the same time. And in this particular situation, we can do this only from g8 to give a check and attack the rook on the h7. But our queen cannot come on g8, at last not in this move, so it wouldn't be forced. We can try to find a way how to bring black king on some square from where we can do that. So let's check it. If black king comes on a7, we do not have square from where we can do that. But if black king come on b8, we can see that We can do that from g8 again, but now we have one additional option, that is square b1, from where we can attack the king and rook at the same time. Now we should find the candidate moves which will help us to execute these goals. So first move will be queen a6 to force black to come on b8, and second move will be queen a1 check to force black king to comes on b8. We'll start with our first candidate move, that is queen a6. After that move we gave check to black king, and black has two options: to protect his king with rook a7, but now we have queen c8 mate, and second option is to play king b8. And we can see that we cannot give a check and attack the rook at the same time, at least not so soon. So we will try to analyze our second candidate move. It is queen a1. Again a check, and again black has two options: to protect his king with rook a7, but again we have mate on h8, queen h8 mate, and he also can play king b8. Now king is on right square, and we can play queen b1 to give a check and attack the rook at the same time. And after some random move, let's say king a7, we will take this rook and give a mate in a few moves. So we used some process in this situation to find a combination. First step was estimation of the position, quantitative and qualitative, which helped us to define minuses and pluses of the position and to discover what is the goal of combination. Then we went to second step to make a plan how to use these pluses of R and minuses of opponent's position. And then we went to our final step to find and calculate candidate moves, which will help us to execute our plan. So I think it was pretty easy to find combination when we look at the position in this three-step way process. This is our second example. We will start with our usual process of thinking, and first step will be estimation of the position. Quantitative estimation of the position is first, and we can see that white has rook, bishop and pawn, and black has rook, bishop and pawn. So material is equal. Now we're going for qualitative analysis of position, and we can see that white has king on f2, which is slightly more active than king on g8, and bishop on a2 is attacking this pawn on e6. Rook on c3 is attacking this bishop on h3, and pawn on e5 is giving to white space advantage, and black cannot attack him with his bishop, so he's very strong. On the other hand, black's king is on g8, and he's on the edge of the board. Also, we can see that there is some bad geometry between black king and black bishop. Black bishop is protecting this pawn on e6. Rook on the h6 is protecting pawn on e6, and bishop on h3. So all of black pieces are very passive, and we can see that this pawn on e6 is a critical point in the position, and our plan should be to use this bad configuration of pieces and to eliminate defense of this pawn on e6 and bring black's rook on a very bad square, and use this bad geometry between king and bishop on h3. So only candidate move which is coming to my mind is rook h3. We destroyed one defensive unit, and also we are forcing black to recapture his material and to take this rook on h3 and bring his rook on bed square. And now we will use this bed configuration which exists between king and rook now, and we will again use this critical square and take bishop e6, and we are giving a check and attack the rook at the same time, so double attack again. And after some random move, let's say king f8, bishop h3, and now it is easily winning endgame. Again, we could see in this example how our three-step process was leading us to discover this combination, and again, main tactical element was double attack. Also, we can see that we used sacrifice and then check for our forcing tools, and goal of this combination was winning of the material. This is our third example, and here I will show to you that knight can also make a double attack. As always, we will start with our three steps process, which we will use in also a much more difficult examples in hard level. First step is estimation of the position, and as always we will start with quantitative analysis of the position. We can see that white has queen, 2 rooks, 2 bishops, 2 knights and 7 pawns, and black has also the same number of pieces and pawns, so material is even. Now we will make qualitative analysis of the position, and we can see that most of pieces are still not developed, so from this we can conclude that this is the opening stage of the game, and we will estimate just pieces which are developed. We can see that white has normally developed bishop on e2 and knight on f3, but the biggest plus in his position is knight on d5, which creates many threats about bad geometry between black's king, rook, and maybe even a queen. So these are pluses of white's position. On the other hand, black has a very bad placed queen on c6, and one of the basic rules of chess in openings is not to play with queen before you develop other pieces and make a castle, and special not couple of moves with queen. And here we can see that black played at last 2 moves with queen, and also we can see some bad configuration between queen and king. Bishop on f5 is good placed, and knight on h6 is not so well placed, but from combinational aspects he is okay. And now we should make a plan how to use these pluses of white's position and minuses of black's position. So we can conclude that we should use bad geometry between king and rook and maybe a queen. One of the candidate move is just to retreat our knight from d5 to e3. This is a very solid move. Knight attacks bishop on f5 and at the same time protect pawn on c2, and after knight d7 white would be much better from positional point of view, but this is not a move which forces our opponent into a combination, so we should take a look in second candidate move, and that is bishop b5. He is forcing black's queen on bed square on b5, and then we can play knight c7 and use this bad geometry between king, queen and rook on a8. And after forced move queen b5, this move was forced, or white would take black queen in next move with his bishop. We achieved our goal. We have black queen on the square where we want her, and we can play queen c7 and attack and king and queen. After some random move, for instance king d8, we will take this queen, and again three-step process which helped us to define all pluses and minuses of the position, to make a plan and find this combination. And tools which we used to force black into combination was attack with bishop b5 and threat to take the queen, and after that check with knight c7. Goal of combination was to win the material. And we reached our last example for this lesson. Here we will see that even the king can also make a double attack. White is on the move. Let's start with estimation of the position. Quantitative analysis will tell us that white has just the bishop and black has bishop, knight and pawn on h3, which is very difficult to stop from promoting into a queen. So material advantage is on black side, and obviously white is fighting for a draw. So we can already conclude that main goal of combination in this particular position should be to try to reduce material and make a draw. Qualitative analysis is showing that black has unprotected bishop on f4. He has a very strong knight on f2, which defend this pawn on h3, and also he's in control with this square on h1, the promoting square, and king is too far from action, and he cannot help. Pawn on h3 is very strong, and he is 2 moves away from promoting into a queen. On the other hand, black has bishop on c8, which is very well placed, as much as it is possible in this case, but anyway he will have to give up from this bishop for this pawn on h3 or on h1. The biggest plus in white's position is his active king on h5, which is very close to this unprotected bishop on f2, and he creates some threat about combination. We can easily conclude that if we allow h2, we will have to give up our bishop on h1, and black will come into endgame with bishop and knight against king, which is winning. So what to do? We will have to give our bishop for pawn, and black will finish with endgame bishop and knight and mate us. So our plan must be to use this bad position of unprotected bishop on f4, and if we can bring black knight also on some bad square and make some bad geometry between these two pieces, and use our activity of the king and make a double attack. Candidate moves can be king h4 and bishop h3. Let's start with king h4. After king h4, black must play h2, and now only move not to allow black to promote queen is bishop b7 to attack this square of promotion. And now after h1 queen, we have to play bishop h1, and after knight h1, black is finished with winning endgame, which I mentioned before. So let's see our second candidate move. That is bishop h3. forcing black to take, because if white keep his bishop, it is theoretically drawn position. And after knight h3, now we have bad geometry between black bishop and black knight, and we will use our active king to make a double attack by playing king g4, and one piece will fall and game will end in a draw. This was lesson about tactical element double attack for easy level, where I introduced to you combinations, basic of system, how to find combination, and tactical element of double attack. In next lesson I will show to you more complex example, and you will understand double attack much better, and I will give you some advices how to practice it and combination skill at all. For the best of chess, this was FIDE Master Bojan Jovanovic. Thank you for watching this lesson, and I hope you enjoyed. See you soon.